It's more than rap. Elevation. More than how your money stack. Elevation. Move forward, no going back. Elevation. Now where you from, but where you at? I be coming through, bombing shit with no hesitation. Step into this booth, slay this beat like my name was Jason. Domination and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Roberto Garcia speaks on training Anthony Joshua, and Parachute G is making an appearance later on. But first, let's listen to what Robert Garcia had to say. All right. And this video appears courtesy of Boxing King Media. You can subscribe to Boxing King Media. All right, let's listen to.
So his interview recently, he spoke quite highly of himself. He probably talked quite a bit about that 2 hour conversation that you had. He spoke about, you know, your history, your father's natural medicine, you know, the whole Mexican school of training. So he spoke quite highly of that, and I think do you think that sort of style of fighting he could replicate and may help him get his fight?
I've said it many times before, and not because I want him to hear this or because because I need him to hear this. I've said it many times before. Before he even lost a fight, I would say that talent-wise, I think he's the best heavyweight. He's very talented, but he needs to be in a place in the gym with trainers, with other fighters that are gonna push him. He needs to change his attitude in the ring. He needs to be mean. He can't get hit and smile. That happened with him against Usyk in the last round. He's getting hit, he's smiling. He's like giving credit to his opponent. You gotta be mad. You gotta get mad because you're getting hit. He needs to have that mentality, the killer instinct. And it sounds bad to say it, but in the ring, you want to hurt your opponent. Yeah. Right now with all the injuries in boxing, a lot of injuries that have been happening in Oxnard. I mean, in boxing, there's a lot of injuries. Just recently, a girl died. There's been some quite a few deaths in boxing due to punishment in the head. But when you're in the ring, it sucks to say it, but you want to hurt your opponent. That's the mentality you have to have.
That girl was young as well.
You know what I mean? Yeah, very young, 18 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just recently, I think a student wasn't even a boxer. He just went in the ring to I think for a fundraiser or something, and he died just the last 2 days. And he wasn't even a boxer. He just went in the ring just to I think it was like a fundraiser. It was in a college or university, and he died. It's a dangerous sport. It's dangerous, but going into the ring, you can't feel sorry because your opponent's not going to feel sorry for you. If your opponent lands a punch and kills you, he's going to win, and he's going to go happy because he won. You don't want to hurt somebody, but in the ring, legally you could kill somebody.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? So that's the mentality that Anthony needs. That killer mentality, that want to hurt people mentality. Outside of the ring, you gotta be friends with everybody. You gotta be nice and respectful. But inside the ring, you have to have that anger, that mean mentality. You gotta know that you're gonna take some punches, but I'm gonna take a punch to land 2 or 3. You can't be afraid of getting hit.
There was a lot of talk about.
One of the things that Robert Garcia had to say about training Anthony Joshua. Here's another thing that he had to say about training Anthony Joshua. All right, and this video appears courtesy of Little Giant Boxing. Subscribe to Little Giant Boxing.
It's a big challenge for me because this is my first time taking a heavyweight to fight for a world title. So it's kind of like a dream come true. Those are the challenges that I like. And right now, Anthony Joshua is that challenge where he lost. I'm not going to say he took a beating because he didn't take a beating. He lost that decision, but he clearly lost. And now bring him back and to pull off the win, it'll be huge for me, man. It'll be huge for me as a trainer. Plus, having a heavyweight champion of the world can't get any better than that. But overall talent, if you're talking about talent, I pick Anthony Joshua. And another thing is that Anthony Joshua also has insane power.
You felt it?
Oh my God, he's got great power, more than anybody else. I think. Wilder, I never felt his power, but from what I've seen, he knocking fools out. Wilder is one of those guys too that has that one punch power. But Anthony Joshua also has it. He's very, very strong.
Talk about that power. How unique is it in your position, Robert, that you can be getting them back with those belts in the winning circle and all that?
You know what? Like I said, I've had champions in every weight division, almost in every weight division. But having the heavyweight champion of the world is special. That's what I could have 100 world champions, but if I don't have a heavyweight, then it kind of something's missing.
So that's what Robert Garcia had to say. I'm gonna turn it over to Parachute G. What's your reaction to what Robert Garcia had to say, and what's your reaction to Anthony Joshua picking Robert Garcia as his trainer? Go ahead, G.
All right, yo, listen. Initially, before playing these clips, I was gonna jump. Let me explain. I gotta explain this, and this is me. I'm a co-sign what Robert Garcia is saying, only because I do follow him on YouTube. And for the longest, he's always praised Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. So that is a fact, right? And, well, back when Mikey was that dude at 135, Mikey was my favorite 135er before he moved up in weight, And I always liked their style because it was more like a sophisticated Mexican style, where it's like, you're utilizing angles, but you're trying to go for the kill. So I like that as well about the Garcia family. My only hesitation is the fact that he has no experience with a heavyweight champion or a heavyweight fighter, essentially. This is a huge gamble for AJ. I understand everything that Robert was saying was correct, which I agree. We've been saying this. I know for a fact I've been saying this for a while. AJ needs to activate that killer instinct, this, that, and the third. Robert talking about he needs to be amongst other hungry fighters to get him to that point. I agree. But Robert's stable doesn't have heavyweight prospects and other heavyweight fighters there to push AJ to that level. Me personally, I was like, I would feel more comfortable with, but all right, now I'm gonna say I don't want to say this because I know y'all gonna attack me for it, so I'm not even gonna bring that up. I'll say this: Robert Garcia, he's good. He really is. You know what I mean? Like he really is a good strategist, a good trainer. But he's good for the smaller weight classes. I do feel like heavyweight boxing is just different. The punches hurt way more. Like the guys don't have the same amount of endurance as the younger guys. So it's like a lot of things are just different. It's just a different form of boxing. And so this will be a learning curve for Robert, to assist AJ in. And I just don't want AJ making the wrong mistake of going with Robert because maybe he felt like Robert's the only available option right now. So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous for AJ, man, for this decision. Now, I would love to be wrong. The type of person I am. Hey, if Robert could pull this off and get AJ to a point where he can actually be competitive with Usyk and knock out Usyk, I'll be like, hey, thank goodness, thank you, Robert Garcia. But however, there's a question mark behind it, man. So. I don't know, man. I don't really feel comfortable with this decision from AJ, so I'll just stop right there. But AJ, man, good luck, bro.
Dollar bill.
Robert Garcia. All right, cool. I'm gonna jump out the window. Okay, hold the window open for me, G. Because for real. Because If you know me, you know that I have one of my favorite fighters is Fernando Vargas. And so I absolutely love Fernando Vargas. I loved Robert Garcia, and I loved his dad. And I also really enjoyed Robert Garcia as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was a dog. Had like 25 KOs, 34 fights or something. And he was a dog. Only lost 3 times. Was a world champion. Not to mention, I think he was a 2-time trainer of the year. Trained over 15 world champions or so, right? Who not better than him? We got to talk about Mikey. We got to talk about Mikey, a kid who never liked boxing. His brother was doing it, but with the help from his brother, a kid that didn't really like boxing or enjoy boxing became 4-time world champion in 4 different weight classes. Not to mention a guy that didn't have a lot of skills, but had heart. And Robert Garcia knew how to use that heart and make him 2-time world champion in Brandon Rios. Robert has had opportunities to turn nothings into somethings. And with his aggressive style and with, not only mentioned, I forgot, Marcus Maidana. Look what he did with Marcos Maidana, with his aggressive style and his awkward form of boxing. You know, he even implemented defense in his way of aggression. So when they said Robert Garcia, I said, why not? Because he's going to put that dog in him. And he's going to push AJ to keep going forward and landing those big shots. That's what I thought was missing. AJ forgot that he was the big dog in there. And Robert says something, too, that reminded me of some of his fight. He can't be afraid to take a couple shots to land that one. And that's what AJ need to do, not be timid. And be able to take some of those Usyk shots so he can be able to land that big shot. When it comes to a mind as powerful, I mean, with a mind that knows boxing like Robert Garcia, I don't think weight classes matter. That's basically what I'm saying. With a mind of boxing that Robert Garcia has, I don't think that a weight class matters. I think that he can definitely show AJ some things. And the fact that AJ went to go seek help from a guy like Robert Garcia, it shows a lot on his character as well, because he wants to get better. It's not no fancy pants know-it-all. He truly wants to get better and be great. And I think that that is dope too, and that shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah, I think what Robert Garcia was saying was music to my ears. I've said this before, and this is why I don't think it matters who Anthony Joshua's trainer is. I've said this before. It's his mindset. Anthony Joshua's mindset is what needs to change. It's not the trainer. Anthony Joshua has to go in the ring and say, I'm the boss. I'm the baddest mother ever in this ring, and I'm going to impose my will on you. I've been saying it for the longest time. The fact that he's in there trying to outbox Usyk, to me, you know, I can see some people like praising it, like, oh yeah, you know, he was able to outbox Usyk, because that's, or if he would have knocked Usyk out, people would have said, oh yeah, but you know, he couldn't outbox him and he's still robotic, and he needs to forget all that. He needs to go in the ring and try to knock out Usyk, but not just Usyk, all his opponents. And I think Robert Garcia was spot on when he's like, this dude is smiling in the ring. You know, he's being timid with going in on the attack. These are all things I heard you point out, G. So if you're saying this and Robert's saying this, what's the difference? And you're pointing out the fact that he lacks experience in heavyweight division. That doesn't mean he doesn't know about the heavyweight division. That doesn't mean he hasn't watched as much heavyweight boxing as everyone else. That doesn't mean that he hasn't known heavyweight boxers. You know, I think when you talk about Robert Garcia, for me, and Trill pointed it out, I see a guy who gets the most out of his fighters. He gets the absolute most out of his fighters. He makes them champions. You look at Floyd Mayweather and Madonna. Who would have thought that Madonna could have done that well against Floyd Mayweather? But he was prepared. Robert Garcia had him ready. And damn it, Madonna did enough to get a rematch against Floyd, which is something that people don't normally do. And that's what we're talking about, the hardest Da Vinci Code to crack. And he came up and implemented a game plan, not just implemented the game plan, but got his fighter in good enough physical condition to where he could keep up that pace for damn near 12 rounds. And then you look at Robert Garcia, and you look at what he was able to do to help Madonna get past Adrian Broner. People don't understand that was a tough fight for Madonna. Madonna always says that Adrian Broner was tougher for him than Floyd Mayweather. And Adrian Broner showed so much grit in that fight. I mean, yeah, he beat Adrian Broner, but that was Robert Garcia once again. That was Robert Garcia game plan, Robert Garcia training. You know, Robert Garcia, to me, is a brilliant boxing mind. And I think he may be exactly what Anthony Joshua needs. Someone who isn't going to kiss the ring. Someone who isn't looking at him like, oh, you've been supporting me for years. You build up my reputation through the Great Britain boxing program. And I've been, nah, he's someone who already got his stripes in the game. I've already been trainer of the year, bro. I done already trained champions, bro. I don't need you, bro. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, you could either accept it and respect it, or you can go find someone else. I think it's exactly what he needs. Like Robert Garcia is saying. I've been saying this about AJ. AJ is very talented, but I don't think, you know, he goes in there, he says he wants to knock outs and stuff, whatever, cool. But I don't think, like, his body language shows it. I don't think, like he said, when AJ gets hit and AJ smiling, you know, it takes thought to smile. Your thought should be, I just got hit, I'm going to hit him back. There should be no smile. It should be counter immediately. Right? And then AJ dancing around. Why? With Usyk. You should be using your distance, your range. If he gets in close, you should smother him. If he throws a combination, you should immediately hit him to the body. Like, it should be all nastiness. You should be, and we were just talking about this off camera. Fury makes all these jokes, but Fury's more dog and more nasty in the ring. More, I want to hurt you in the ring than Anthony Joshua is. Deontay Wilder's more dog. Like, I want to, like, look at Fury, look at Wilder fight each other in that third fight. They want to kill each other. Right? And AJ, I think sometimes is more like stylistic. I want to look good doing this. I want to look, you know, I don't want to get hit because I want to look like, it's like, yo, you got to go in there and just destroy him. Like, and I think Robert Garcia was saying all the right things. So to me, I'm going to be honest with you, there are a few trainers out there that I feel like are brilliant. And I think, you know, we'll find out if Robert Garcia is good for the heavyweight division. But he's been good for every fight I've seen him with thus far. You know, I mean, there was one fighter, I think, who he had and it didn't work out with. But, you know, that can be said for all trainers. So at the end of the day, man, I think it's a good pick. You could have made worse picks. Robert Garcia on his own merit has definitely accomplished more than the trainer he had before. I'm trying to remember his name, but it escapes me right now. You know, so I think it's a good pick.
I'm looking at Trill screen. Huh? I see that big ass fly, Trill. I'm
trying to get him. I was waiting till he stopped so I could get him. I don't want the fly community after me. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't want to kill a fly on camera.
Oh, he didn't want Insect Peter after him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm done, bro. Let's get it over with so you can get that fly.
Yeah, let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Elevation out now on all major streaming services. I'm about to handle this business. We're the Boxing Bros.